in Abuja. Jigawa state government releases 2 billion naira to 746 retirees and deceased workers' families. More than 60 migrants died in Atlantic. Good evening, listeners. Today is Thursday, 17th August 2023. I am Salma Adam Iko with the news. Vice President Kashim Shettima today chaired the National Economic Council meeting in Abuja. The meeting held at the council chamber of the Presidential Villa Abuja has in attendance governors from across the federation and other stakeholders. The meeting addressed some of the pertinent economic challenges in the country occasioned by the removal of petrol subsidy. Also discussed about security challenges across the country with recent attacks in some part of North. Journalists have been excused from the meeting and are waiting to be briefed on the outcome. The National Economic Council meeting comes about 24 hours after the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) Limited announced that it secured a $3 billion emergency crude repayment loan from African Export-Import Bank. The federal government has approved a 5 billion naira for each state items for distribution to the poor in their respective state. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum disclosed this at the Presidential Villa shortly after the National Economic Council meeting in Abuja. According to him, the federal government also released 6 state governors. Babagana Zulum said the state governors are to procure 100,000 bags of rice, 40,000 bags of maize and fertilizers. He noticed that 50 state government as grant, while 48% is loans. This comes in the wake of the hike in cost of food items and petroleum owing to the removal of subsidy on the commodity. The Northern Elders to remove economic sanctions imposed on Niger Republic to pave the way of negotiations. The Northern Elders Forum chairman Ango Abdul on Tuesday said the use of force was unlikely to achieve the goal of restoring constitutional order in former. He said Northern Elders Forum has chosen to observe events and reactions in Niger Republic since the coup in that country a few weeks ago. Millions of Nigerians and Africans in rejecting totality any attempt to overthrow the constitutional order by the Nigerian military. He urged Nigerian government to remove all sanctions and other measures intended to force the government and people of Niger into acquiescence. Therefore, I appeal to Mr. Tinubu, resident of Nigeria and Niger Republic, to resist any attempts to poison centuries of good relationship. The Defense Headquarters said 36 officers were killed in Niger State. Director of Defense Media Operation Major General Edward Buba made this known when he gave a breakdown of casualties in the ambush of troops in Niger State and an evacuation helicopter that crashed on August 14, 2023. Major General Edward Buba stated that an investigation is still underway to determine the cause and urged citizens to be wary of propaganda by terrorists and remain patriotic. Sawaba Radio report that insurgents had ambushed troops in the Zungeru area of the state and some gallant troops of the Nigerian army paid the supreme price. Also, a Nigerian Air Force M171 helicopter on casualty evacuation mission crashed on Monday in the Shiroro local government area of Niger State. Suspended Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Godwin Emefiele appeared before a federal Capital Territory FCT High Court in Abuja today. Emefiele was supposed to be arraigned over 6.9 billion naira alleged procurement fraud, but the arraignment was stalled due to the absence of the second defendant, who are said to be indisposed. Also, Emepele was present in court. The second defendant, female CBN employee Saada Tiaro, was not in court. Following an application for adjournment, the presiding judge, Justice Hamza Muazu, adjourned the matter to August 23rd, 2023. The news is coming to you from Studio of Sawaba Radio. More of the news after the short break. Tuesday.
This is News on the Hour, Sawaba Radio FM. Stay tuned.
The Jigawa State government has released a total sum of 2.024 billion naira as the terminal benefits to retired and the families of deceased civil servants in the state. The Executive Secretary of Jigawa State and Local Government Contributory Pension Scheme Board, Alhaji Kamilo Aliyu Musa, stated this while speaking to newsmen shortly before the commencement of the payment. The Executive Secretary explained that the amounts being paid will cover the retirement benefit, death pension, and death pension balance for the 746 beneficiaries from the state, local government, and local education department of the state. Alhaji Kamilu Musa maintained that the families of the 27 deceased employees from the state civil service, 22 persons from the local government, and 29 persons from the local education authority stand at 2 billion naira. He noted that the state government through the board is committed to ensuring the welfare of its workers for better service delivery and the well-being of retirees after service. He commended Governor Malam Umar Namadi for his support and cooperation in the scheme. Malamadori local government distributes palliatives to the needy and poor people across the local government. The Honorable Commissioner of Women Affairs, Hajia Hadiza Abdul Wahab, said the state government has supplied 220 bags of rice to Malamadori local government. She said each ward will get 54 cartons and 10 pieces of spaghetti. Hajia Hadiza also urged members at ward level to be sincere, honest while discharging their duties. In his part, the Secretary of Palliatives Distribution Committee, Abdullahi Shahada, says the local government has purchased 60 cartons of spaghetti to cushion the hardship bearing the people. Moreover, the lawmaker representing Malamadori in the State House, Alhaji Hamza Babayaru, has urged the committee to fare Allah during the distribution ward level of the entire area. The Kaduna State government has pledged to allocate 15% of the annual budget for healthcare delivery. Kaduna State Governor Ubasani made the promise while hosting a delegation from Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Abubakar Ditaj, represented by Emir of Argungun, Sama'ila Mera, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, World Health Organization, UNICEF, and other key stakeholders at the government house in Kaduna. The delegation was in Kaduna as part of an advocacy visit to discuss critical matters concerning public health and primary health care in Kaduna State. Obasani said the Kaduna State government will upgrade other health centers to increase accessibility, decrease travel time, and to reduce overcrowding in densely populated centers. He further said the government will control and prevent polio and diphtheria by improving on the health indices in the state and strengthening primary health care center. Also speaking, Dr. Faisal Shoaib, the executive director of NPHCDA, lauded the governor for his inclusive policies targeting the most vulnerable groups and ensuring they are covered by primary health care. He added that the NPHCDA as an agency is also collaborating with traditional institutions to ensure universal health coverage. The Katsina State Police Command said it has killed one suspected bandit and recovered 60 roasted sheep alongside an AK-47 rifle in Korogo village of Dendera district in Jibia local government area of the state. 110 rounds of 7.62 mm live ammunition were also recovered as the investigation is ongoing. The hoodlums in their numbers, armed with dangerous weapons such as AK-47 rifles, were said to have invaded the village early yesterday, shooting sporadically. The Katsina police spokesman, ASP Abubakar Sadiq, confirmed the incident. He said the bandits were forced to abandon their heinous mission and scamper into the nearby bush. Now to international scene. More than 60 mostly Senegalese people appeared dead after their boat was found drifting about 300 kilometers from the Atlantic island nation of Cape Verde. 7 out of the 38 survivors are receiving treatment in hospital. Their wooden fishing boat was found a month after it set off from Senegal with more than 100 migrants on board. Officials in Senegal said they were making arrangements to bring survivors home. Cape Verde officials have called for global action on migration to help prevent further loss of life. It's thought the vessel was aiming for the Spanish Canary Island, a frequent migrant gateway to the European Union. It was first spotted on Monday by a Spanish fishing boat. The survivors include 4 children aged between 12 and 16, a spokesperson for the International Organization for Migration, IOM, said. West African military chiefs have said they are prepared to use force to restore democracy in Niger following last month's coup if diplomacy fails. The generals from ECOWAS group of nations meet in Ghana to coordinate possible military intervention. The ECOWAS Peace and Security Commissioner Abdel Fattah Musa said almost all member states were committed to contributing troops and are ready to intervene in Niger. He added that the coup leaders in Niger still had time to restore civilian rule. The threat of intervention has raised fears of a wider conflict as the military government in Mali and Burkina Faso have said they will side with their counterparts in Niger. ECOWAS officials say their resources will be used to support troops, but they will also welcome any outside help. And we wrap up the news with this and a recap of the major stories. From the news, Vice President Kashim Shettima chaired National Economic Council meeting in Abuja. Jigawa State government releases 2 billion naira to 746 retirees and deceased workers' families. More than 60 migrants dead in Atlantic Ocean. On behalf of the news department and news editor Haruna Ahmed Bultua, I am Umusama Adam Iko. Have a good night.